Very interesting as I kick off this WRV. I will get in a rut with my daily carry knife, as I've told you guys about. Right now, it's a Spyderco Stretch. Yeah, I've had this knife in my pocket for 2 weeks. I love it. Highly underrated, the Stretch. It's filthy from doing work, as your knife should be as well. Filthy, but sharp. But sharp. This is in ZDP 189, great steel. Aftermarket clip on it. I love this knife. And it fills a role of an EDC blade, a tactical blade for me. So it's my primary knife. And so weeks go by and I'm still running it, when I should, as a reviewer, swap in other knives. I have to force myself to do this. I get in a rut with my daily carry blade. I'm not making that up. It's absolutely legitimate. You can tell that because I'll do a pocket check on some reviews and you'll see the same knives showing up time and time again. Now, I say that because I'm going to make a contrast here. With my watches, I do not get in a rut. It's really weird. I have such a good time swapping in my watches. I do get sad when I take certain watches off my wrist. I'll say, man, I wish I could wear this watch every day, but I have to swap in a new watch. Here's one of those watches. And it's a high-value Swiss brand, Wegener Attitude. This is my EDC piece. I'll wear this for 2 days. End of those 2 days, I will put something else on. And I won't necessarily want to because I love this watch so much. This is a value watch. When I got it, I spent $50 on it, dudes. Yeah, Wegener Attitude. I have reviewed it. Go watch that review. This one has been programmed by myself. Notice I painted the main hands. I didn't touch the seconds hand. And I went with a light, kind of a creamish tan color. And it ties into the number set here. So it's a really cool watch. Sapphire coated crystal, aftermarket, beautiful leather strap on there. A lot of personality with this watch. With a strap, I probably spent on that strap maybe 20. So 70 bucks? 70 bucks? Steal. I love this watch. I love it. And dudes, I hope you're the same way. I hope you can swap in watches in your EDC loadouts and just make yourself happy. Same with your knives, by the way. Same. Let me know in comment if you get into those ruts. I have mentioned this before with knives, but I didn't tell you that with watches, I just don't. I'm always swapping my watches out. So here we go with a dive watch review. It's this one right here. The Alpina Seastrong Net and Fancy tabletop review. Thanks for clicking on the video so much. I appreciate your support. Surprisingly, the watch show is surviving and even slightly thriving. Slightly. Yeah. Like you'll see some WRVs that I have not posted yet, and I think I was expressing my doubts as to whether I would continue to review watches because, yeah, they don't get a lot of support except in the donation community. There is a hardcore group of watch fans in Patreon that watch the watch reviews, and so to be completely honest, I'm doing these reviews for them. Yeah, and by the way, that donation money is used to purchase watches. That way I don't have to go to Alpina and be a sellout like a lot of the watch viewers you may see in YouTube. That goes on all the time. I call it third-party advertising. So is it really a review? Kind of. But they can't say really anything negative about it, right? Otherwise they get their sourcing cut off. By the way, if you order an Alpina watch, be ready for this huge box that's going to come. You're going to have to find room for this box, which is apparently leather covered, spring loaded. It's a nice box as far as watch boxes go, and you're going to have to find some room for it. I have to keep my boxes because I sell watches too and give them away. Speaking of which, with this video, I'm going to start giving away a watch to one of the commenters below this video. Sorry, still healing up from COVID. No, I'm not making that up. No, not the COVID part, but giving a watch away. I'll have Mrs. Nut and Fancy help me, and we'll just randomly pick one of the watch viewers beneath the video in the donation environment, and then we'll contact you through the donation environment. Right now it's Patreon, and you give us your address and you get a free watch. There you go. And it might be one of the ones that I purchased for review. Who knows? Who knows what you're going to get? But it's free, and free is always the best price. Yeah, so that's going to happen with this video. Now keep in mind the videos are not chronological, so if you hear me not talking about this in other WRVs, it's because it probably was filmed in 2019 before I came up with this super smart idea. Yeah, better late than never. MiG-21 on the table. This is a Corgi, 1/72nd scale, Vietnam era MiG-21. Talked about it before. It's a really great paint job on this one. Great model. Corgi does pretty good models. Sometimes their detail is like second place to some of the other ones, like Hobby Master. But this one's very excellent. And then we have a Trident AT SOG knife, link below. This is a great knife. Yes, it is heavier than the other Trident, but it is head and shoulders above the other Trident. I would carry this over the older Trident, hands down. Hands down. Speaking of knives, yeah, this is a great blade. I mean, the handle's fantastic. Tactical Doodle and myself reviewed this. I'll try to post that review close to this video so you can go watch it. Look at the handles. High traction. This was an OD in black. Great clips. A little bit heavier than I would like, and I do rant about that a little bit. Go watch the review, you'll see it. Then we have a Colt Woodsman still hanging out on the table. On we go with the watch review. Thanks again for supporting my efforts in the watch show. I went through my catalog of watch reviews, I don't know, like 6 months ago, and I noticed I'm a little bit light on dive watches. I have reviewed some, but not a lot. That's because my aesthetic is very particular. There's many I don't like for a wide variety of reasons. I've discussed them. This one I do like. I really like it, especially if you can score it at the price level that I think is super high value, and I'll say it here, $275. Now, it's a quartz, not an auto, and if you go, oh, I'm never going to spend $275 for a quartz, remember it's a 100% Swiss-made watch. It is what it is. And by the way, for a Swiss watch, that's like free. And as far as I know, this is 100% Swiss-made, so it's not offshore sourced with offshore parts. I think this is 100% made in Switzerland, I think. So I think that represents a great value. Are there ones that are cheaper? Yeah, I have a competitive option that I'm going to show you that is much less expensive. Also quartz, also awesome. But it's not the Alpina brand. And, does it achieve the same level of cool for you? I don't know. As far as value Swiss brands go, actually, let's just say Swiss brands altogether, I love Alpina. And I do have some other WRVs planned for the brand. I love them. And if you buy smart, i.e. when the getting's good and the review first comes out, you're going to score it for a really good deal. More and more I hear about people who come to the watch reviews that I do late. The watches are sold out. They've doubled in value, and I'm not making that up. Some have gone way, way, way up. Victorinox is like that. Wegener's like that. And so I try to post them in a timely fashion when I can. Okay, there you go. So I think it represents a great value. It is a quartz, not an auto. I do love automatics because of their low maintenance. I don't mind setting them during the day. I've been replacing so many batteries out of the watch collection over the past, 4 years. It's a lot of work. Not really that expensive, but it's just work. If this was an automatic from the Alpina brand, I suspect this would probably go for about $500. I do have another auto Alpina in inventory currently for review, and that one runs about, actually it's more than that. I think, I didn't pay this, but I think around $750, and it has a Styletta-based automatic movement with a Alpina brand on it. So you're going to save a lot of money by going for quartz. The same case treatment, the same sapphire crystal, the same bezel, everything is just a quartz movement. Ronda quartz movement. I'm not overly impressed with Ronda movements. They're fine, they're accurate. If you take care of them, they're durable. But I'm a programmer of watches. I take them apart, I look at them. I think a Ronda quartz movement is a little bit temperamental about how you have to treat it. If you touch a coil, it dies. Little backstory there. But as a user, it's fine. It's fine. But I'm not like, oh, it's a Swiss quartz movement. It's so much better than the Japanese ones. It's not. The truth dart, it's not. It's about the same. Miyota quartz movements are fantastic. All of them can and will fail you once in a while. I've had it happen with all brands. There you go. On we go with the review. Enough of that nonsense. Holy crap, I'm 10 minutes in. Dang it. Okay, I've better go fast. Now, this is probably available in a bunch of different colors, maybe a couple different hand treatments. I'm not super sure. I love this one. It's a blue coloration, obviously, and it is a very dark, beautiful blue. Now, I'm looking at it not through the viewfinder, but directly, and this blue is darker than it appears in the camera, which is fantastic. I really like that dark midnight blue, and this Seastrong watch does capture that coloration very well. So it's a very striking watch right off the bat. It has a midnight blue rubber strap that comes with it, and I do believe this is rubber, not silicone. So it's a great looking watch. Let me get a negative thing out of the way first, okay? And you guys know where I'm going that watch my reviews. I freaking hate hollow hands. Okay, see how the base of these hands are, one, they're shiny. I don't like that, and I don't like how they're hollow. Okay, now, let me know if you care about that. And it bugs the crap out of me. So if I were to keep this watch, I'm programming it. Yes, I know I'm going to lose the lume, and I cannot paint it. So sometimes if you paint the hands, the lume will still show through. Nope, I got to tape these hands. I'll just tape them in solid white. I'll probably make the seconds hand bright red. I'll go with that same coloration of red. I'll leave the GMT second hand, not second hand, but that's a GMT hours hand right here, alone. I won't touch that. In fact, I won't even have to take it off because this is the lowest mounted hand on the spindle. Yeah, that really is the only negative thing about this watch. I hate hollow hands. I hate shiny hands. You guys know this, and it's my aesthetic. It's what I like. If these were solid hands, dude, this watch would be absolute perfection. It really would, especially at that price, which for a Swiss watch is crazy good. Now, I do have videos out there showing you how to tape hands if you would like to do that. I would not recommend you doing it for the first time on your Alpina watch. I would practice, as I said in those videos, on something less expensive. It is a skill set, takes practice, you'll get good at it. Okay, that out of the way. The hands, as far as they go, are good. So they're non-funky. You know, they're just triangular. They're just regular semi-sword hands, I guess you can say. They are legible, even as it comes without being taped. I really love the seconds hand as it is. Yes, I did say I would paint this. Why did I say that? Well, it's because the hands will be solid white, and I want contrast on the seconds hand. I like to see that contrasting movement, like this Wegener. That's a good look. That's why I said it. I love the red pip on this end. There you go. Now that's a GMT hand here, and you guys know what GMT does. Notice in the outer scale is your GMT hours tracking, 2, 4, 6. So that's not military time, that's your GMT time. And the way you'll set your GMT is to whatever time zone you want, and then it will do 1 revolution per, there it is right there, per day, right? So that's 8 p.m., 10 p.m., midnight. Now, I've said before, and I'm going to stick with this, I'm not a big fan of GMT watches because I just don't use it. Because on my offside, I'm wearing an Apple Watch, and I can go whatever time zone I want, and it's, you know, legible, ready to go. But this one is executed properly. Notice how the hand is black. It's very low profile. Yes, you do have like an outlined pip and like a pointer with your GMT hand, but it's not noisy, right? It doesn't like get in the way. I really like that. So the seconds hand is perfect. The GMT hand is perfect. The hours and minutes hand, in my estimation, need a little bit of work. The markers are 3-dimensional applied. Now, somewhere along the way, I'll take this into a dark space, not here in the studio, and I'll just inset it and show you what the lume looks like. Alpina has great lume on it. Like I said, by taping those hands, I would get rid of the lume. I know. It is what it is. I just like my hands to be the way they are. We have an inverted Flieger triangle here, and I believe that is completely lumed, as are the markers. Stick markers in between. Very clean face, actually. And it has an effective face of 33.8 millimeters with a very thin chapter ring. You see this? If you're going to put a chapter ring on, dudes, that's how you do it. It's carrying the GMT timing. So this inner bezel, very thin. So it's not taking up a bunch of case space. Really nicely executed. I just love it. And then you have the Alpina logo right here. Really like the logos on them. And you saw how I did that. I just pulled the crown out all the way. There's your Alpina logo. Just a beautiful blue color. Speaking of the crown, it is screw down multi-position to set your date, which is a negative display. Kind of legible, kind of, not really, kind of. And there's no day there, just the date. And then you'll screw in your crown, and that gives it water resistance down to 300 meters. Okay, the bezel on it, 120 click. As far as preciseness goes, I would give it a 7, not a 10, but a 7. I didn't really dive this and find out if it's sandproof because I just felt that guys, when I was diving the watches, they didn't really care. And it was a lot of money to go to California to go dive watches. So I still may do it. Let me know if you want me to keep doing it. But I didn't dive this one yet. And it's always fun to do it because you do learn some things. I believe this is a ceramic insert here. It's matte finished. Beautiful finishing on this. I love it when they can do a matte bezel. Deep Blue and their second generation's doing this as well. They're also ceramic matte finished. I think they're matte finished. Then you have 15-minute graduations right here. You have a lume pip at the 12 o'clock position, I believe. That takes us to the case, which, by the way, the sizing is perfect in my estimation. 45.5 millimeters across, 12 millimeters in thickness, and a very short 49 millimeters lug to lug, with 22 millimeter lug spacing if you want to swap in a strap of a different variety. Notice there's some interesting casework right here. And this is PVD coated in a titanium color, in case you're wondering. Stainless steel case, but PVD coated. Different case construction. Sharp edges right here. I have found that when they're right here, you won't even notice them. You just want this underside like smooth. Speaking of which, there's your case back. I really like Alpina case backs. I wouldn't say I love this one. I would love it if they had a friggin' octopus or sea monster on the back of it. Yeah, that's what I've said. And I think a competitive option has that. No, that one doesn't. The competitive option I want to show you don't, but I really like it. It's just kind of fun. It's an ocean watch. Make it look like it. There's your catalog number for this particular variation of the Seastrong. And there it is right here. I won't say it because you won't remember it. I'll put it below. I'll put links below. I bought this one at JomaShop, which has great prices. No, they don't pay me a dime to say that. I just have been purchasing from them for a long time. The downside from JomaShop is this product moves very quickly because their prices are so smoking low. Like this watch, what do they have this retailed at? Sometimes they have ridiculous retail prices. I'd imagine, I didn't really check, $350 would be the normal rate for this watch. Again, I'm just guessing. Here's your strap. I'm not over the moon on the strap because it seems like one of those Casio straps. Here's one that I'm talking about. It's off MDV 106, which, by the way, would be a great competitive option, the Marlin. So it's, you know, just kind of vinyl, rubber. They're okay. It seems like that. I'm a little bit surprised on the strap. But I like its color, and I like that it's ventilated. I like it has double keepers. I like that it has a logo clasp that matches a case, so it's titanium in coloration, and I can live with it. In fact, I would probably just rock this strap for a long time, especially if I'm going to use it as a water watch. Remember, 300 meter water resistant, sapphire crystal, AR coated. I forgot to mention that. And screw-in case back, of course, which I love. Great watch, actually. It really is. Let me know, too, in comment if you would use a GMT function, if you have watches that have it. I've reviewed one or two that have a GMT function in it. And I just don't use them that much. Again, because I'm wearing technology on this wrist right here. An Apple Watch. Okay, competitive offerings against this. I only have a couple. I keep showing you the same dive watches over and over again. So I'm going to try to swap it out once in a while. This is a programmed Wegener C-Force Gen 1. Yeah, so I changed the hands on this one. I made them pure white. I painted these hands so they're not taped. I put in a 355 decal, AF decal, and man, it pops. Change the strap on it. So they're saying this is a Swiss-made watch as well. I believe it has Chinese parts in it. Not the movement, but there's certain things in it. Maybe the hands or whatever, made in China. I modded this a long time ago. So this is a 2019 mod. Great case back showing the Swiss Army knife. This has been a great watch. It really has. The Wegener C-Force, I have dove before. They are absolutely waterproof. I've hard used them before, and they just keep on going. The only thing I can say, and it's an outgrowth of it using a quartz movement, is that I have to change batteries like every year on them. The batteries don't last that long. And it has basically the same movement this one does. So these are both Ronda movements in this. So the C-Force is what I was talking about. The Gen 2 C-Force is out there. I don't like it quite as much as this one. Still a good looking watch. It really went up in price. Like the Wegener C-Force went way up in price. When I reviewed this initially, it was selling for like 70 bucks. Like I say, that's when guys scored it. If they buy as soon as my video comes out, they're going to get a good deal. Now, which between these two would I prefer? I'm going to call it sixes, honestly. That's how much I like the Wegener Gen 1 C-Force. It's fantastic. The sizing is a little bit smaller. I think this is like a 43 millimeter, but I still love it. A little bit narrower. Guarded crown. This one kind of has a guarded crown on it, not too much. So that's a competitive offering against the Alpina Seastrong. And here's one you have not seen yet. Look for my individual review on it. It is a Shield Marius Pro Diver. Also a quartz. It's 46 millimeter by 13 by 47 millimeter. Wearing a Jubilee bracelet, 200 meter water resistance, 5.4 ounces. By the way, this one is 4 ounces. I forgot to say that. This is a great watch. This has a Miyota quartz movement in it. And look at this one. It's beautiful, isn't it? That bright blue. I like the traction on this one a little bit better than this bezel. I forgot to show you this. So this is a low profile bezel. I really wished the Seastrong had a really sharp coin edge all the way around it. This one kind of has really cut sharp traction. I like the looks of it. I like the squared off shoulders of the bezel. And again, the Marius Pro Diver, if I'm getting the name right. I did paint the minutes hand on this and the seconds hand already. Yeah, I just couldn't help myself. I didn't touch the hours hand. I actually like it. It's very monsterish, Seiko monsterish in appearance. But I painted that hand and I painted the seconds hand like gray. It works. It works. This is a good watch, and it's inexpensive. I think through drop, 100 bucks. I'll put a link below. The drop may be inactive, and if I can find it in JomaShop, I'll put links below. This is recommended though. And man, I just love that blue face. Love it, love it. Look at the applied markings on this. So look at the back right here. I'm out of this September of this year. There you go. Just a couple competitive offerings. I could show you a lot more, but I'm already at 23-ish in time, 23 minutes. Got to wrap it up. Thanks so much, seriously. And I'm going to watch the comments, and then I move on very quickly to the next thing I have to review, production, post-production, all that stuff. Nothing fancy.